Yeah, shout out my guy Terrence Briggs. Great stuff from him.
Shout out,
I've
Terrence. I'd love to have you on the channel sometime.
there we go. I've talked a lot about Cormani McClain. I think, we've seen him break out this year. I think he's been a great corner for us. But, like you mentioned and like Briggs mentioned, I think there is plenty of room to grow for him. And I don't think he's an NFL corner just yet where it's like, yeah, this guy's going first round. Yeah, this guy will be, a starting cornerback at the next level. I think there's plenty for him to need to prove. And I think that comes in 2026. I mean, you got to remember that this kid is a redshirt sophomore, so he's really only played 2 years. Even in those years, he wasn't playing too much. I mean, at Florida, he redshirted the first year, didn't play too much. Colorado didn't play too much. This year, even at the start, he wasn't a starter. He was in there, but he wasn't in there as much. So he's still, developing. He's still learning. I think he's a great cornerback. I think he has all the traits to be a great cornerback. I mean, the speed, the length, the versatility is all there. But I think there's plenty for him to improve on, and that will come next year. And I think he can take a even bigger step than he did this year. And like I said, he's a young guy, so I'm really excited to see him. I fully expect him to be back next year. But you never know how stuff unfolds. But I think his time at Florida has been a little bit of a resurgence, and he seems to be having fun again. I just saw a TikTok of his the other day where he made a TikTok where everyone was hanging out in the locker room and they came out and he was on the field and he was like, I just love football. I'm grinding. So it seems like he's having fun again. It seems like he's kind of growing back into the Cormani McClain we knew coming out of high school. And I'm really excited to see him continue to grow.
Do you believe he's matured, or has this staff? I'm not trying to take shots at the staff, guys. I'm going to clear that up first. Has this staff not fully developed him correctly, or was it the fact that he went to Colorado and he thought he was an A1 corner, and then had that fall from grace with Deion Sanders and just left, and that kind of shot his confidence. And because he's going into year three, which we don't normally see with a 5 star, and or a former 5 star. Was he truly a 5 star, or is the staff just holding him back because they didn't give him a starting role? Because I even hyped him up during the offseason. I did
Yeah,
three
yeah.
videos on the kid.
I mean, I wouldn't say anyone was holding him back, and I wouldn't say he's at a spot that he shouldn't be at. I honestly think this year he's, you hear 5 star and you expect, the Dallas Wilson, the Jeremiah
Correct.
Smith to break
Tim
out on the scene.
Tebow.
Yeah, but there's plenty of 5 stars that don't do that, and I think that doesn't mean that their career is over. I think everyone's journey is different. I think, you know, we saw him get to Colorado and have so many problems. There's a reason he was a walk on. He wasn't,
Yeah,
technically
yeah.
a walk, but he was a walk on at the University of Florida. There's a reason not a lot of teams were going after him. It wasn't a Florida thing. He hadn't been at Florida yet. He got here, and I think, even last year, in the short playing time, he made a couple plays. Kentucky, the pick six was incredible. Made a couple plays here and there, and
Yep.
then this year he's broken out. So I don't think, I'm not. There's nothing to blame the Florida staff with. I don't know what was going on at Colorado. I don't know if that was a him thing or a Colorado thing. I think he'll tell you himself that he's matured a lot. We talked to him in the media for the first time a couple weeks ago. It
Yep.
was an awesome interview, and he definitely seems like, a completely different kid than he was. And I'm excited for him. I think he's matured a lot, and I think he's on his own path. I'm not going to say, oh, someone failed him and now he's failed. I don't think he's failed. I think he's got plenty of time to make that push for the NFL, and I think that he's doing it right now. I think the film that he's putting up right now